we live in a surveillance society.
Why do I have to come down?
Monitor every human being on the planet.
I don't know how they knew all about us.
A big government will take more and more of their rights away from them.
Are you aware, yes or no?
One major world crisis away from having a totalitarian type of system.
The main event is the wholesale destruction of the world economy.
The push for every nation on the globe to identify and number all of its citizens.
We are warned of such a global system.
The great experiment that was once America has been prostituted by special interests.
All they're thinking about is, oh, government, do something, protect me, save us from all of this. We are living in the last days.
Friends, I hope that you will order Shadow Government from Infowars.com. We also have some specials where you can get some of our other films half price when you order Shadow Government. A new level in production quality and in information. It exposes how a cashless society, surveillance beast grid of total control is being put into place. This film needs to be seen. Everybody needs to get it. So order yours today. Show it to your friends, your family, your church, your neighbors, your boss, your employees. Shadow Government, ladies and gentlemen. Get your copy at Infowars.com today. Shadow Government. It gives Big Brother a black eye. Available at Infowars.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. For the balance of the hour, Andre Van Heerden, the producer and director of the hit film Shadow Government, joins us, along with the author of the book that it's based on, and, of course, the host of the film, Grant Jeffery, who's a documentary maker, author, film producer in his own right, a leading film and documentary producer out there. And, of course, I was honored when they reached out to me to see if I wanted to carry the film or endorse it. And this is the best-selling film we've got next to my documentaries. And that's the market speaking, that the people are really impressed with this. I mean, it's an amazingly informative DVD. It's available at Infowars.com. And, of course, you can get the book from Grant Jeffery's outfit, and we'll give you that website before he leaves us. But we also have a discount with my other books and videos at Infowars.com. And it's got Daniel Estulin in it. It's got Catherine Albrecht. It's got Giabra Griffin and so many others. And it's really waking people up, because it's not just the naked body scanners that are going in or the cell phones tracking us or the RFID. This has been globally agreed to by the UN. It's globally standardized, and it is a beast system. Even if you don't believe Revelations, for all intents and purposes, that's what this is. Total control, where they can even predict human activity before it happens by tracking your previous activities, not just individuals, but groups of people. And it's covered in the film Shadow Government. So I want to thank Andre Van Heerden and Jeffrey Grant, or Grant Jeffries, for joining us here today. Gentlemen, good to have you on with us.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Where do we start? I mean, you wrote the book, Grant Jeffrey. Break down what the Shadow Government is, why you have that title, and in a nutshell, what's being built. And then let's go through the film and break down the information in it.
Well, I believe, as a result of 20-some years of research, that we are very, very close to the imposition of a global government that none of the citizens of the Western world, in terms of a majority, want. Every time people have been asked if they want global government, the vast majority love their nation, their history, their culture, language, and they want to keep their things as they are. The global elitists that desire global government, they know that the only way to introduce this is by stealth, and they have found that they can go around the U.S. Constitution, which is one of the major impediments. The founders of the U.S. Constitution were brilliant men that were very afraid that America needed to stay out of European entanglements and wars, and they made the Constitution very hard to change. But the lawyers in Congress found that there was a loophole, that according to the Constitution, if there's an international treaty signed by the President and 67-plus senators, that takes precedence over the U.S. Constitution if there is a conflict. And so they began using treaties like the World Trade Organization in 95, signed by Clinton, a 2,000-page treaty that effectively robbed the United States of its economic independence and trade policies. Only one senator out of 100, Alex, actually read the treaty. Most of them have a 8.5 by 11-page summary. And based on that, the vast majority of them voted for this, which effectively put America's hands in handcuffs. Economically, they cannot respond to unfair trade practices, for example, from China. Otherwise, all the other nations will retaliate. America, though it's the leading economy in the world, has the same voting power as Haiti or Uganda, one vote. So we're outnumbered by people who do not share our free enterprise policies, our pluralism of religion and politics, etc. The next thing is these global elitists think of themselves as global citizens. They no longer think of themselves as Americans or French or German. I'm not suggesting that they're all evil individuals, but rather they believe that in a world with 200-plus sovereign nations and weapons of mass destruction that are widely available, inevitably they will be used and there will be a third world war and genocide. The only solution they can think of is a global government that would eliminate nations and their ability to go to war.
Which just so happens to be authoritarian. And I was playing in the background for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers a short clip of a census worker coming up and marking your GPS point on your home. I mean, the film covers the big picture. It zooms into the micro. That's what's so powerful about it, and it's got great actors. I mean, the whole thing is illustrated where people can really get an idea of what's happening.
Well, yes, I think that we were able to convey with Andre's help and direction the real truth that what is happening behind the scenes is our politicians are ceding our national independence, our constitutional independence. These people believe that global government is the solution to avoid a third world war as one of their motives. But you and I both know that the history of the planet shows that civil wars are by far the worst type of war, whether the American Civil War, where we look at the Russian
And there's
Civil
going to
War,
be civil wars against this global government because it's authoritarian. Even in the words of the Financial Times of London, they endorse an authoritarian system. Meanwhile, the globalists always hand out weapons to other countries and actually stir up the conflicts. And internal memorandums like State Department Memorandum 200, they talk about starting wars to reduce population. So at the top, they're pure evil. I agree they have a lot of useful idiots that support them at the governmental and academic and corporate level, believing in the propaganda.
Right, and what I point out in both the documentary and the book with very ample source citations, there are three major groups. The Bilderberger group, who call themselves internally the Alliance, primarily European, royal, as well as multinational leaders, incredibly wealthy people who want world government. Then you've got the group, the Council of Foreign Relations, that is primarily American with about 3,000 members. And then you have a trilateral-commission that was formed by Jimmy Carter and Zbig Brzezinski, his security advisor, back in the 70s, which basically has representatives from both the Asia and from Europe and from North America. All three groups absolutely are aiming toward global government by stealth, by international treaties, and by other means. These individuals have set an agenda which they know the public does not support, and so they're introducing it step by step without people being fully aware that we're ceding our national independence and our representative government. I really point out that the European Union, with 27 nations, is really an executive commission of appointed individuals who make decisions behind locked doors, and the so-called European Parliament is nothing more than a high school debating society because all the power is exercised by 27 appointed people, and there's no remedy. There's nothing an individual can do.
Well, they admit that. I mean, when Obama became the first U.S. president to be president and the head of the UN Security Council, CNN said, this is the ultimate level of power in the global government. This is the only group that has any power in the UN. And all of those individuals are Bilderberg Group members or members of the regional roundtable groups. And Carroll Quigley, as you know, wrote a whole book about this. He worked for them, 900 pages, Tragedy and Hope, breaking it all down. And my listeners are aware of this true global architecture. And, of course, the film covers that. But you also break down how they plan to implement their control and surveillance over the population.